if you can be holding your breasts, they're too heavy. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is about my breast reduction surgery. I am now 3 weeks post-op, so I want to answer all the questions that are kind of just like frequently asked questions I get, and definitely questions I had before that I now know to help others that might be considering this or are just interested. This is my 3-week post-op video. Let's get into it. First biggest question I get asked is, how long is the healing process? You know, like how bad is this thing? Is it gonna really hurt? All of that jazz. So basically the answer is that I feel like there's kind of like stages of healing. Like there's the stage where your incisions are no longer very prominent, like they're healed, they're turning into scars. Then there's the phase where like you can do more activity, but they're not fully healed. And then like, I think there's a phase months down the line when you are like done healing. I don't know, I feel pretty good considering I had surgery 3 weeks ago. Like in the scheme of things, I feel like I've healed a lot, but they definitely have a long way to go until they'll be like, you know, how they'll be. So yeah, I guess the easy answer would be a few weeks for the incisions to heal and then a few months for it to like fully heal in terms of soreness and all of that. The next question I got a lot was kind of just like what size I was before, what size I am now, and talk a little more about that. When I went in, I believe I was a 36 double D, but I honestly like spent the last year of my life wearing sports bras because I was just so like self-conscious that I haven't been fitted in forever. And I very much think that by the time I decided to get a breast reduction, I was probably closer to like a triple D. So I was definitely large, but I wasn't one of those girls that was like a G or an H or something, like a monstrosity. I just like, on my frame, I'm only 5 feet tall, so triple Ds looked huge on me. Now, I still can't say exactly what I am because I haven't like fully healed and been fitted for new bras, but the goal was to make me like a small C/big B. So we will see kind of what it is when I get there. If I had to guesstimate right now, just based on like looking at everything, I think a 36C would probably fit very nicely, so we'll see. Something that I do have to mention is that when you get this surgery, like 100% totally cosmetically, you can be very specific about the size you want. Like I want it to look exactly like this. I had insurance cover my surgery, or a lot of it, and when you do it through insurance, they actually will suggest how much they want the surgeon to take based on like a medical recommendation and like a medical standpoint for how much they feel needs to be removed. For me, it kind of just happened to work out that like what I wanted, what made sense and was recommended. So they do it in terms of weight, and they had 500 grams removed from each breast, and 500 grams equals 1 pound. So basically 1 pound was removed from each breast, which is like mind-blowing to me that there was that much weight sitting on me, like just extra weight. Yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind if you are gonna wanna get it done through insurance. That leads me into the general question about like cost, is it crazy expensive, all of that. So I will preface by saying this is something that for like a few years now, maybe like 1 to 2 years since I grew, it's been on my mind, but it was something I just thought like wasn't realistic because I wouldn't be able to pay for it. Like when I was in high school, I actually had a nose job, which my parents paid for. I was a teenager, and kind of like knowing that, I was like, okay, I can't ask them to pay for another surgery. I don't think they would. Like, I'm on my own now. But when I looked into it more, it turned out I could do it on my own with health insurance. I think the answer is kind of like it could be expensive. I have a cousin who lives in New York and went to one of the best surgeons in the city and told me that her procedure was like 20 grand. So it can get up there, but for me, it was definitely very, very affordable. To be honest, I can't give you an exact number because I don't even think I've like received and paid the bills yet. Like everything has to process and it's only been 3 weeks. But I can tell you that I'm gonna be responsible for about 10%. Like a procedure that was probably a few grand, I wanna say 6 or 7 grand, and then I'm paying 10%. You can kind of do the math. If going through health insurance is an option for you and you're worried about money, that is something to look out for. It's crazy how I've watched some of these breast reduction Q&A videos, and like I've seen ones where the girls are in Canada and it's just free for them. That blows my mind. Like if you are in Canada and you want a breast reduction, please do it for all of us that want them, just because it's so free and simple for you. That is insane. What made you decide to do it? How did you make the decision, basically, is what people want to know. And I would say for me, there was kind of like a definite shift from a point where I liked my boobs and was like confident and proud of them, and they were always a bit bigger, but I used to like that. Like it kind of felt like my asset. Like, you know, some of my friends had a fast metabolism or blonde hair or something, like that was just their thing, and I always felt like it was my boobs. And there was just this distinct point I remember where they no longer felt like this thing I enjoyed, and they became a nuisance. They became something that distracted me. They became something that like was in my way. I mean, it was to the point by the end where I would literally stand in the shower and hold them because they were so heavy. I used to make my ex-boyfriend hold them when we were just chilling because I would be like, they feel so heavy. And they were so heavy. Like, if you can be holding your breasts, they're too heavy. I would say what made the final decision for me was kind of realizing that it was also affecting like my confidence and body image overall. I started wearing baggy t-shirts 24/7, and that's all I wore. I definitely just had a very low image of myself and felt like my breasts made everything worse because they would make clothes just not sit in a flattering way on my body, or make clothes not fit at all. So basically everything I owned either looked bad or just didn't fit. I definitely think once I started feeling super insecure in clothing is when I decided this was something I wanted to do. I realized I don't want to live my life like, it was just a nuisance in so many ways. Exercise, like exercising was very uncomfortable. I probably also could have been wearing more sports bras, I admit. Like I probably could have been wearing 2 or 3 instead of just 1 and then complaining. But I mean, running, when you think about it, they're bouncing up and down and it hurts and it's a lot. I mean, it even just hurts to walk up and down a staircase. So I definitely think it's gonna improve my ability to exercise with more ease, just like my quality of life overall. Another thing is I didn't have too many back issues yet, but it can lead to them. So the second I started noticing like, ooh, my back kind of hurts, I was like, I want to nip this in the butt now. I don't want to have back problems later in life. I'm 23 and I just wanted cute, perky boobs and, you know, and I just felt like they were already, you know, hanging pretty low. Yeah, they just looked like old lady boobs. It's not what I wanted. And the thing is, like, my boobs are still gonna change. If I get pregnant, if I gain or lose weight, whatever, like they can still fluctuate, but I am now kind of like restarting at a more youthful, how do I even put this into words? I am now like starting with youthful boobs again. And so if they turn into old lady boobs again one day, that is okay because I will be older. You know, some people have asked me like what the scars looked like, other details about surgery, stuff like that. So I'm kind of just gonna explain the process a little bit about what they do, but not in detail because basically they do is an anchor shaped incision. Under the nipple, there's gonna be 1 line down and 1 line, like a half circle like that. Because basically that's, you know, under the boob is where they open and take out tissue from. So I will always have scars under my boobs that look like little anchors, and you know, I'm okay with that. To me, it's totally worth it. They are still very prominent right now. I think they will definitely fade over time, so I'm not too worried about it. Luckily, I did not have draining, I forget exactly what it's called, draining pouches or something. I've seen a lot of girls on YouTube after their surgeries, they have these like bags and they have to drain it for like a week. Thank God my surgeon did not do that. I did not have to worry about that. All I really had to do was keep it all covered up and wrapped up for like a little while. It really did feel like I was put under anesthesia and woke up and it was done. I mean, obviously that's how all surgery goes, but it just, like, it didn't feel like a super big deal. I guess that, I don't know. I just thought it would feel like this bigger deal, and it really wasn't that bad. I think the biggest thing was kind of just the anxiety of getting a surgery during COVID. The morning of, I had to get tested before I could, you know, have surgery, and the test was uncomfortable, and then it took like 45 minutes for them to get the results. Luckily, once I was negative, everything moved very quickly. I would say, like, the process is worth it. The process is, like, if you are considering this surgery, I would say don't worry about like it being too painful to be worth it or anything like that. I think it's very manageable for how much it will improve your quality of life. And I mean, you also do have pain meds, so that helps. I had like an ibuprofen prescription, like the strong ibuprofen, like 800 milligrams, whatever. I still have it, so I'm gonna use it whenever I have headaches, honestly. And then I had, you know, like an actual painkiller. I believe it was Percocet. I was in enough pain to need them, but once the bottle was gone, I wasn't like SOS. I was good by that point. So in general, I really do feel like it's manageable. I know people personally that have done it as well, and it's just something I've never heard anyone regret. Like, I don't think you will ever hear someone talk about regretting getting a breast reduction. I don't think you're ever gonna feel like, crap, they're too small or this or that, because if you're used to living a life of a lot of boob, it's just the best feeling in the world to have this weight kind of lifted off of you, and it really does feel like freedom. You feel so much lighter. You will view your body differently for a little while and have to adjust, because when you make your boobs smaller, other parts of you might start to look bigger. I don't think it's drastic. I don't feel like, oh my God, oh, I'm huge. But it definitely, you know, proportionally, like to my stomach and everything, like they're sticking out at different, like, you know what I mean? But you know what, getting motivated is not a bad thing. Like, if anything, I feel like the smaller boobs makes me wanna like get the rest of my body in shape too. As of like today, right now, it is 3 weeks since, and it still hurts to do certain things. Like if I like reach all the way up for something and then twist a little bit, it's like, ooh, because the incisions, they go on the sides right here. So if I'm laying in bed even, I'm like very much a side sleeper, but you can't be for this process. You really have to learn to sleep on your back. So every time I like lay on it, it hurts, which is a little annoying, but in the scheme of things, it's really not that bad. You just gotta lay low for a little while after, and COVID was sort of the perfect opportunity to do that for me, and we don't know how long this is gonna go on. So I would also recommend to anyone watching this, if there's honestly any procedure you've been considering, it's a pretty good time to do it. But yeah, if there's anything left that you still feel like I haven't answered, or just like if you're curious for an update later on, I would be happy to come back to this topic, maybe a decent amount later when it's been like 3 months or 6 months or something like that, and just kind of check back in. Also, my comments are always, you know, open. Please, I love responding to comments. So if you have any questions for me kind of like right now, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Also, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I think that's all. I think I am rambling on. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.